Hello, and welcome to another video by 1960s and 70s Chronicles of a Golden Era. In this video, I'm going to put the question, what would you describe as your musical trinity? By that I mean the three bands and or artists that you would say had the biggest influence on your musical tastes, but also on your life as well. Now I'm going to give you my choice, and it's this. First, Mark Bolan and T-Rex. The reason? Because in the early 1970s, Mark Bolan and T-Rex arrived with a whole new genre of music and a whole new expression of youth rebellion, which was glam rock. And for my generation, people who were just getting into their teens, just starting high school, this gave us our Beatles, our Elvis, something that our age group could identify with that was distinctly ours and really got us into music and into our own particular branch of youth rebellion. But more than that, Mark Bolan's music, which was glam rock when I got into it, had a back history. Tyrannosaurus Rex and the folk rock that produced, and the lyrical wonder and the imagery, and it was a good preparation for the heavier rock and prog rock that I would later get into. It gave me a good grounding in that. So it really influenced and paved the way for a developing musical taste. Second, Led Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin were the first heavy, serious kind of studency rock band that I got into. And Led Zeppelin are Led Zeppelin. The music of Led Zeppelin, I don't have to describe. It's varied, it's deep, it's emotional, it's rock, it's folk. It's Led Zeppelin are a unique musical experience. I don't have to go into depth, but Led Zeppelin have another big part to play in my life. Yes, I'm going to mention a certain gig that I was at in 1975 at Earl's Court, Led Zeppelin. Now, I was only 16 at the time, and my older brother, 19, living in Glasgow, some 450 miles from London. We'd never been anywhere before, and Led Zeppelin was our inspiration to go to what in Britain at the time still is, actually, for those who don't live in London, the Forbidden City. London was the central point, the central city for the whole Western culture, really. Certainly youth culture. Um, and London was a big adventure, so Led Zeppelin are playing, but they're not touring. They're playing 5 gigs in London. You want to see Led Zeppelin, you've got to go see them. So even at 16 and 19, myself and my older brother made the plans and the preparations for weeks in advance. We queued for the tickets. We laid out maps in front of us and talked it over and get real excited about my first big adventure in life. And my brothers too, really. And that was going down to London to see the magnificent Led Zeppelin, the greats of the 1970s. And it included sleeping overnight rough in the streets of London as part of the adventure before making our way back on the train the next day. So, apart from Led Zeppelin being my introduction to heavy, serious music, they were also the source and the inspiration for my first big adventure in life. Just 16 at the time, with my 19-year-old older brother. So Led Zeppelin, second. Third is George Harrison, for many reasons. George Harrison is an education. All of the music from our era was educational. It was full of references to religiosity, spirituality, philosophy, politics, social commentary, injustices and rights and wrongs, and how to address the iniquities of society. Our music, our culture at the time was an education. George Harrison was a big part of that. I'm very big into spirituality and religiosity and everything that goes with that philosophy. Believe me, very big into it. Have been my whole life. And George Harrison and his references to spirituality and religiosity was a big influence on that. And his lyrical content was, among other artists, something that helps me and a lot of people to deal with the angst of the teenage years and trying to understand life. And like I say, also stimulated interest in deeper issues, um, and to explore them further, not become a member of the Hare Krishna faith, but it was part of the building blocks of understanding spirituality and getting deeper and deeper into it. And it's been a big, big part of my life. And I describe George Harrison as my spiritual dad and a big inspiration and influence, and someone you can look to for guidance in life and understanding life at the deepest levels. So, George Harrison, not the third, these are in no particular order. All three are part of what I call my musical influential trinity. So, Mark Bowen and T Rex, Led Zeppelin, George Harrison. That's mine. And I would like to know what you would describe as your musical trinity and why. At this point, I'll say thank you and ask you to, I do the pointy thing now, to like and subscribe and share the video. Share the other videos on the YouTube channel, please, if you're inclined to do that. And it's going to help to grow the whole Chronicles community and experience and what we're trying to do with Chronicles, all of us as a community, teaching about the 1960s and 70s and putting it in a better and more accurate light. So with that, I'll say thank you very much for watching and listening and liking and sharing and commenting, and say take care.